Ripple XRP, we are going to be exploring the fact that it could potentially capture a $280 trillion tokenization market, and also their role that they're currently playing right now in tokenization. And we have some information about Ripple building the infrastructure for global real-time payments. We also have a video of Brad Garlinghouse talking about interoperability and how Ripple can essentially solve that, and some other news. And of course, we will be getting into the price action of both XRP and XLM coin. All I ask from you are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. So the first bit of news that we have is to do with the tokenization. It says over here that Ripple has been highlighted for its partnership aimed at exploring a real estate asset tokenization solution, considering that the value of real estate worldwide is estimated to be around $280 trillion. Does the current XRP value of 60 to 64 cents really make sense? And we're going to answer that question right now. No, it definitely doesn't make sense at all when we are going to be able to tap into not only tokenization of $280 trillion in that market, but also into many other markets as well. That's to do with real-time payments and interoperabilities and cross-border payments and other sectors too. Now, if we take a look at this roundup that we have over here, what's happened in 2023, you can actually see the contributions that Ripple has made. So we have the VP Bank teams up with Metaco to expand its digital asset custody and tokenization services. Now, we know that Metaco has recently been acquired by Ripple, and Metaco are in talks with HSBC, and so Ripple does have some foot in the door when it comes to HSBC in general. We also have the fact that Fubon Bank has partnered with Ripple to explore a real estate asset tokenization solution under the Hong Kong Monetary Authority. And when it comes to the Asian markets, Ripple does seem to be playing quite a major role within that, and as well as Africa. But in the Asian markets, they have conducted a few pilot programs, and Singapore have also given them a virtual asset provider license recently, and it seems like as if the Asian market really likes Ripple. And not only that, but you can see all of these big players that are getting into tokenization. Now, whilst the other players may not directly be working with Ripple so far, they could potentially be working with Ripple in the future. We have big players like Deutsche Bank, Citibank, Onyx, which is a platform by JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and these are all of the mini case studies that they have currently worked on for tokenization so far and going forward into the future. So I definitely think that Ripple XRP will be able to capture some of that market over there. Now, the second tweet that we have is that Ripple has built the infrastructure for new global real-time payment system. This is the reason why the Bank of International Settlements has assigned Ripple to cross-border payment task force. So the task force is actually quite a large list that they have, and within that list, not only do they have Ripple assigned, but they also have Swift as well, and that is why I think that Swift could potentially be working with Ripple and actually bringing them on board together when it comes to these cross-border payments. And XRP could take a large market share of the crypto market. But if we take a look at the payment service providers, you'll see over here we have some rumored partnerships, so with the Bank of China that we have, and you'll see over here that with ripplenet we are essentially targeting other countries like Australia, Germany, Latin America, South Africa, the USA, France, London, and Brazil. And ripplenet is being able to provide this globally, and it goes to show that we have real world use cases that ripplenet is actually providing. I think one that they have currently missed out is Africa. I know that for ripplenet they have been able to use their services within Morocco, so that's missed out on this list, but it does show the utility that ripplenet can actually bring when it comes to the cross-border payments. I think with Africa as well, the potential opportunity for the revenue of cryptocurrency is roughly estimated at around about $610 to $640 million by the end of 2028, so there's a huge market to also be capped there as well. And Ripple should be able to make cross-border payments happen because in Africa they do lack a lot of infrastructure, and so Ripple should be able to provide that solution for them. If we have a look at this tweet, it says over here that any bank that is unable to participate in this new technology future will find itself at a competitive disadvantage and will fall behind its competitors. And it says over here within this document that we have that cryptocurrencies like Solana, Avalanche, and Ripple enable faster and more efficient cross-border transactions and reduce reliance on traditional banking systems. And we have definitely noticed a shift when it comes to the traditional banking sector. They are looking at cross-border transactions, they are looking at settlement times, also clearing times as well, and with 24/7 operations. So it's not going to be your traditional banking days when they are only operating between Monday to Friday, and any banks or other major businesses that don't adapt to this technology will get left behind. I can definitely say that that will be the likelihood for it. We are seeing more use cases of blockchain technology, and all of these banks are essentially giving up to implement them within their working models and institutions. Now let's take a look at this video talking about clear regulations.
Do you think that the jurisdictions that will win will be the ones with clearer regulations? Because, I think like maybe in the past there was some romance of like a gray area, but as we're seeing now in the US with all the SEC lawsuits, like there's no romance there, because just because like it's gray doesn't mean that it's okay, right? So basically what happens is you could end up spending years and millions of dollars fighting in court, which we've seen with Ripple and we're seeing with Coinbase. So I do think that like the countries that sort of win or the countries that attract talent will be the clearer jurisdiction.
And as we know so far, under Gary Gensler, the SEC have actually conducted 55 lawsuits, and definitely the cryptocurrency space is essentially fighting against the SEC. This is definitely part of what we need in order to get clear regulations and clear rules sorted out. So hopefully we can then move on and go forward when it comes to the crypto space, and it will definitely open up more doors as well. Now, before we look at the price action for today, I just want to show you what Brad Garlinghouse has mentioned about interoperability and talking about how they are solving this.
So give me a specific example of who's going to use it. So one of the things we've always said is I don't think banks will be the first customers. We've talked about payment providers, and so we have run pilots out there with the MoneyGrams, Western Unions, Mercury FX, Qualix, a couple of others. And those are payment providers that have massive treasury operations. Using one random example, you have a payment provider that has hundreds of millions of dollars of negative working capital because they've taken their dollars or pesos and they've pre-funded it. They pre-funded the account, so they go into Mexico. Once a week, let's say, they'll wire $10 million to Mexico and then debit along the way. Now, sometimes they overfund, sometimes they underfund. The ability to have real-time liquidity is transformational. The global pre-funded, what are called Nostra-Vostra relationships, it represents something on the order of magnitude $10 trillion. If we can make that more efficient and more useful, we can actually accelerate the engine of commerce kind of on a global basis.
And I personally think that banks are looking at real-time liquidity. They need to be able to have access to the funds very quickly, very fast. And this is what the technology of the crypto space is able to provide as a result of it. And it says over here that XRP frees up trapped liquidity worldwide due to lack of interoperability between payment systems. As we know, interoperability is also a very big player. And that's essentially being able to work across different ledgers. So you have your private and your public ledgers, and you're able to go across them together without having to go from private to private ledger or public to public ledger. And Ripple XRP is able to provide that interoperability solution. So let's have a look at the price action today for XRP coin. We are currently trading at 62 cents. We are at 0.623. Now for the day, we are down by 0.2%. On the 1 week, we are up by 0.3%. However, for the month, we are up by 2.2%. As you can see, we have somewhat been sideways trading for roughly around about the past 2 weeks. We have seen some nice spikes to 64 cents, but then we actually went back down to the 62-cent level, and again we hit that same price target of 64 cents, but we just weren't able to stay there. So now we have gone down by 2 cents. I definitely want to see XRP coin to be able to hit 63 cents, and then let's see if we can get to the price target of 65 cents. Then we have Stellar XLM coin, which is currently trading at 13 cents. It is down by 2.8% on the day, but on the week we are up by 2.4%, and on the month we are up by 9.6%. Now as you can see with Stellar XLM coin, despite us having this dip over here, we are pretty much higher than we were once before, back on 18th of December, where we were at 12 cents, and we are up by a nice 1 cent. If you remember before, if we have a look, XLM coin was struggling to even reach up and above that 12-cent level, but now we have been able to hit it and go to 13 cents. I definitely want to see Stellar XLM coin hit 15 cents, and I think that is the next price target for it. Guys, if you want daily XRP and XLM coin news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.